You're welcome once again to our channel. If you are new to our channel, we'll recommend that you would like, subscribe, and even share with others. We are particular about your development, and we curate videos that would help you learn and grow. For today, we'll be looking at connecting the BI tool of Tableau to MySQL. It's a pretty simple endeavor. So from Tableau, what you're going to do is you go to connect to data. Now you come not file, but to server. So you come to the server and then you take MySQL. Yeah. Now, if you click on this, you're going to have these interface. Now, if it's your first time using Tableau to connect to MySQL, you're not most likely to have this interface. What you're going to have would look like this. MySQL, you need to download a driver. For you to download a driver, go right here. So to download a driver, you go to your browser and click on this, please. Come right here. You can copy this address just the way it is. Select the version. The newest version as of today is 9.0. Whatever system you use, Microsoft, Windows, I use a Windows system. Yeah, Mac OS if you use Mac, and then download the MSI installer. Yeah, download this and install it. Now, once that is done, you would be able to come here, connect MySQL, and then you have these drivers interface. All right, cool. Now, let's go to MySQL. Let's go to the home page. Now, at the home page, a few things you can learn. The username is root, localhost 36606. So depending on how your workbench was set up. So I'm going to go right back there. The server is localhost because I'm connecting to the same system. Now, if you were connecting to somewhere outside this system, you supply the IP address. So that will look like this. IP address of where you're going to. Awesome. Now you put the port. Again, the port will be, you will be letting to know the port by the server. The server will tell you what port you are connecting to. But in this case, we're connecting to a local host. The port we already know. Now, how do I know the port? Since it's a local host, I can see the port here, 3306. Yeah. And then the name of the database I'm trying to get across to is MySQL, SQL store. The username, because I'm going with the root user, is the root user, which is the administrative user. All right, cool. So I put a password, that's the admin password. Now, once I sign in, okay, awesome. So every of the table on that database, you can see all the tables on that database are all here. I can use that for my analysis. Now, you want to go back and check, you can go in and check. So this is it, SQL store. All the tables start from there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 tables in there. And you can come in here and check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. So you have more tables here, and I'll tell you why you have more tables on this one than you have on the other one. All right, cool. So good. That is how you connect from Tableau to MySQL. However, there is something here. You, as an analyst, you are not likely to be given the root login. So oftentimes what happens is the admin will create a username for you, which you would use to log in. He wouldn't give you the admin login, because the admin login allows you the power to manipulate the database. Yeah, so we're going to talk about how to create a user, and then we'll go on to create a view for you. All right. So typically, no one just gives you the door, the key to the door into his whole database. No one does that. Yeah, that's counterproductive. So more of what they will do is they will create for you a view. So which is like the put together what they want you to see. So in one of our videos, we talked about how to create views. So typically in creating a view, you write the select statement. So this is a select statement. And as you can see, it harnesses the table, customer, joins it with other, joins it with other item, and even goes on to join it with what? Products. Can you see that? Amazing. So it joins all of these and then pulls out a data set. We can look at what it does. We can just try to see, make sense of these. Say, let's see, select these, run it. Okay, so that's exactly the outcome that we're trying to get. Yeah. Now, if this is the outcome that we're trying to get, the next thing we're going to do is create a view. So now we bring this in back, and then we select this, and then we say run this. Awesome. Now refresh here. Why do you need to refresh? So that the view will be updated. We are actually using the SQL store database. So that's what is active. As you can see, open the view, and you can see new view. So we've been able to create a new view from here. First, we created the video, which you can see by refreshing. You're going to see new view. Yeah. Now, after we've created the view is what you want the analyst to be able to connect and see. And you saw how we pulled it from a number of tables. Next up, because we can't give the admin role to everyone, so every user you create must be given a unique privilege based on their role. So simple way to create a user is this. Here is a simple way to create a user. So create user, give the user a name, and since we are local, you're going to use the local host identified by, that's the password, the pass key. Now, if we select this and then we run this script, you see it's successful, which is why you have this experience. Now, you could want to check how successful this is. Username of student and then pass key by coming right here, trying to add this. Yeah, you could call this training, give it a name, any name at all, it's fine. Username, student, password, pass key, okay, and then say okay. Awesome. That shows you that user has been created and opens really nicely. Next up, we will be granting unique privileges to the user we've created, which is student. Now, to grant a privilege, here is the script you would write. So to grant a privilege, here is the script you would write. It says grant all privileges on SQL store dot asterisk to student at localhost. pretty much what this means is all privileges. Yeah. Now, when it says all privileges, these users, students, can actually act more or less like an admin. He or she can do anything to the system. Now, on the database, that's the database we are giving him privilege on. Now, with the use of asterisks, what that also means is that every table on that database, he can see it. Yeah. Now, 2, student at localhost. So if you run this query, the student can see every table on that localhost. So let's see how that works. Run this, and that's successful. You see the green tick, that's successful. Now, having said that, you can come in here to training, which is where we open that, refresh this, and you would see conveniently, because training is the connection using students. You can see conveniently the student store, the SQL store, and all the tables are going to be there. Likewise, all the views are going to be there. Now, in like manner, you can come to Tableau, yeah? Connect to data. Watch this. We're going to say MySQL, localhost SQL store. Here is what? Student. Here is what? Passkey. Are you there? If you can want to go with, you don't need this because it's not secured. Sign in. So, okay. I'll try it one more time if that's wrong. Passkey. Sign in. There you go. So it signs in correctly. And as you can see, every table on that SQL store is present in here. All right, that's step 1. Now on step 2, which is what we would really love to have, on step 2, which is really what we would like to have, we don't want to grant the entire database. We want to grant the view we had created. So here we would put new view, meaning there is a specific view that we want to show. We want to give this privilege to. Yeah. Now, it's also interesting, if you want to know what all privileges are, you could come down here and say show privileges. Now, if you run this code, you're going to have a list of, look, a complete list of all privileges, which is enormous. Yeah, it depends on how much you get to know over the years. You get to find some over the years. The all privileges gives you the power to delete, the power to drop, the power to create, you to even view and all that. All right, good. So now you know what all privileges mean. Now, in this case also, we don't want to give it all the privilege. We want to give it a unique privilege, which is the select privilege. So grant select on SQL store, particularly where we are sending it to is this view, the new view for this particular user. Now, should I select that and run? Let's see. That works perfectly. Now, if you want to see how that works, I'm going to close these, come back here at the beginning, and then double click on this training. Awesome. Now I'm going to refresh this. Refresh this. Now you can open this up. MySQL store, open this table. Let's refresh it one more time. Okay. Now let's try writing a code. If that works perfectly, let's try writing a code and see where it takes us. Select from customer. Run this code. Now, the system will never let you run this code. Even when you can see it, you don't have the privilege to open that system. Now, the only thing you have a privilege to open is the view. So on the alternative, we're going to do this. From new, view. Here, new view. Let's run this. Again, it doesn't give us select asterisk from new view. Okay, so let's run this from here. Now, the system doesn't give you access. So let's first and foremost select the database. Awesome. So that sets up the tone for where we're going to. Now we can run this. And that should work seamlessly. So select from customers. There's an S in there. Perfect. So that works really nicely. Now, thereafter, we're going to take one step backward. We're going to remove all of these privilege. So we're going to write a revoke instruction to revoke these privileges. So how are we going to do that? I'm going to select these, revoke, select, insert on this. So I'm revoking, select, and insert. So we'll select this. So this is when you want to take off, cancel the privileges you've given. So in this case, I want to cancel the privileges that I have given already. So I'm going to select these and then run it. That runs perfectly. So there is no select, there is no insert privilege on this user. Now, this is where the user is on the training. If we come to these and select it one more time and try to run this, that might work. That might work because we've not restarted the server. Just this way and try one more time running this code. That won't work. Yeah, because it worked earlier because the server was what? Still using the old server was on. But now with the new server on, that can't work. Now, where are we going to? We don't want to give these privilege. So we're going to come back, use the grant privilege. So this time around, we'll drop it in here. So grant all privilege. Then again, now I want to grant only the select privilege. So only one privilege, to SQL store. And I want to grant particularly the view, which is what we wanted to do from the very start. So we want to give only this view, the privilege to work on only this view. Now, if we select these, yeah, if we select these and we run it, oh, awesome. That has gone through. Now, we're going to close the training, which is where we came from, and then go back here and restart the training server. Awesome. Now, let's select. Let's try working with this. So we're going to, that sets the tone that we're working on this store, and we're going to try to run this. Again, we can't access that, but let's see if we can access the view. New, what's the name of the view? New view. Run this, and there you go. So you can't access any table on this database with this logon. However, you can access this particular view because we've given the privilege for you to access that view. Now, having said that, we can go to Tableau so you can share. So we're going to close what we had before, close it completely. Do you want to save changes? No, we don't want to save changes. So close. Now we're in Tableau, we can come to MySQL. Now the student is this, the username is student, the password is pass key. Yeah? And what are we going to do? Sign in. Now this works superbly. Now let's look at this. Now if you see this, you see all the tables are here. Let's try using one of them. Customer. Now let's go to it. We're going to go to sheet 1 and let's see if we can work. Error. It won't let us connect to this. It won't. Yeah? Because we don't have a privilege to access that. So there's an error message here. No privilege. All right. Let's go. Alternatively, we're going to pull this off, remove this, and we're going to bring the new view where we have a privilege to work. And then we're going to drag in the customer. Can you see that? 2, 6, and 3. We can count how many customers. So there are 4 customers. And if you take a walk with us back to MySQL, you would see we had 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 customers when we count by 4. But if we count distinct, we will have 3 customers. Yeah. So this is exactly how you create a view and then give it some privileges. And when you give it privileges, you can share the username that you've given that privilege to with a client who can go in and then log on to your server, yeah, and then access that view and use that view for his own good purpose, perhaps analyze the data or what have you. Yeah. Drop us a comment if you like the video and let us know if there is something else you would like to learn about. We'll be happy to curate something for you. Appreciate you. Thank you.